Alright guys, today we are going to be reacting to why I left America for Germany. James, did you leave America already? Well, you were living in South Korea. Gonna see what's going on here, guys. Let's jump in.
Every single time I've been in Hamburg, it's been like pretty bad. Leaving wherever you grew up is honestly one of the hardest things to do. I mean, after all, it's your comfort zone. And in times like these where everything's tailored to, at least on the internet, fortifying that comfort zone, it kind of puts that interest to leave it to rest. And it's kind of unfortunate.
Okay.
I've been making content about Germany specifically over 6 years. And 3 years ago, I decided to finally step outside my comfort zone and visit for a change. Seeing it on the internet was entirely different than seeing it in person, obviously, but there were a lot of little mental roadblocks that I had that held me back from going out and exploring Germany as a country. And I'm glad I finally got out of it and got to see and put all of those erroneous fears to rest. So hopefully this video encourages some of you out there, especially my American viewers, to get out there and travel despite what you might be thinking. There was a comment that I saw in a comment section of an individual describing what it was like to live in LA. People said that, you know, anybody from America will travel to Detroit, Chicago, New York City, and dangerous neighborhoods, but when you mention traveling outside the country, they always mention how dangerous it is, which is so ironic because the likelihood of
Why would they say dangerous? Right, I never heard somebody say, yo, I don't want to visit Austria because it's very dangerous. I don't want to visit Spain because it's very dangerous. You see what I'm saying? The only one that I can just remember is London, but that's a different category, right? But never, unless you go into a third world, then, that's the different ballgame, right?
you getting gunned down in your own country in America, for my American viewers watching, is far higher than anything happening to you in another country that you're traveling in on vacation. And that's just the reality, right? So hopefully this video kind of turns the tides a little bit and gets you to explore whenever the opportunity presents itself. Since us Americans get so much flack about the lack of knowledge of the world outside of America. Before we get started, as always, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe if you haven't already.
And you know what Stray said? He said that, but we do. I had to recognize that we do have a problem with our educational system. We have a problem with our education system. Our education system is trash, and especially in these big areas that he mentioned, like Detroit, Los Angeles, New York City, these places actually have the worst educational system. They have the worst. And there's multiple people are even making money about how exposing how dumb a lot of Americans are. So
for Germany, there were 3 huge benefits I noticed that I internalized to this day, and it's changed me entirely as a person, and I'm hoping it'll do the same for you guys that haven't had the chance to travel yet. And hopefully the people who have traveled can confirm what I'm saying in the comments down below and even open your minds further to their experiences. If you guys have any experiences traveling to different countries across the world or even like in your continent, let me know in the comments down below and let's have a conversation, because I do think there is something to be noted here when you do get outside of that space and see other cultures and everything. I was in Hamburg, Germany. It was my final day. I had just done a camper tour and I was like, okay, I wanted to hit all of the sites that I appreciated the most in Hamburg, Germany. So of course I walked around the Speicherstadt. I went to the Europa Passage. There was a burger place in there that me and my friends went to.
burger.
And just for nostalgia reasons, I decided to go back there and have some of the most delicious burgers I've ever had in my life at Hobsburg. All right, so we finally made it here, man. Hobsburg in Hamburg in the Europa Passage. It's pretty cool. I got a nice view from where I'm sitting right now. It's pretty empty. Like I said, it's early-ish. It's not early in the morning, bro. It's actually like almost afternoon. It's 11:28, and it's my last day. So I'm trying to do like whatever I can to enjoy my last day here. That is my view right now. Hold on.
there we go. Oh, that's nice. That is actually pretty nice. Yo, that's pretty nice. In a restaurant, a burger, while you have this view. Oh man, this is great.
Like super far that way. It looks nice. And then if you look down, like that's pretty much the hub of everything. So I'll show you guys what I got. I'm gonna eat it here, and then we're gonna walk around the city and make the most out of this day. I got 2 different burgers. This one I think is which one is this? I think it's just the cheeseburger. And this is what it looks like.
Oh my god.
It looks so good. Hold on.
Oh my god. You have to put your hand in the back.
I'll have to get some napkins and stuff for it, so we'll see what it tastes like, man. Heavenly as usual. This is the one I had last time. It's the barbecue burger.
Damn.
Oh my god, it looks good. Now this is interesting, right? Because I know you guys are like, what does that have to do with 3 wild things that changed your life? The perspective shift, okay? My perspective shifted entirely traveling to Germany, and it was mind-blowing to me. Something that I had never done by myself ever. And here I am in a country where I took a leap of faith and just tried to explore different areas and really indulge my fascination, and I felt like an entirely new person. All right, so I think it's actually kind of diabolical that we have some like legitimately fire weather out here today, man. Like the weather is amazing in Hamburg, bro. Every single time I've been in Hamburg, it's been like pretty bad. It's been like rainy or cloudy or whatever. But
yo, but ain't no lie,
that
kind of I'm not gonna lie, I like that gloomy, rainy kind of thing. It's probably a personality thing, but I love that. I love it. A little rainy, a little cloudy, in the mornings of at 7 or 6 p.m. Oh man, I love that.
Like a really good day. It's sunny outside. This, bro, like the sun's literally right behind me, bro. You see this? Damn. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yo, what's up? Now let's be honest, that comfort zone I was talking about earlier, travel completely smashes that comfort zone. Suddenly, your normal isn't normal. Other people speak different languages, sometimes eat after 10 p.m. You start questioning everything you thought was just how the world works. And that's what was fascinating to me. Every Sunday I had gotten used to, by the time I had been in Germany long enough, things just being closed and figuring out a different way to indulge and enjoy myself, right? I also found a new appreciation of parks. I wasn't really a fan of parks prior to traveling to Germany. I kind of like overlooked it. I was mainly inside a lot playing video games, or I'd be traveling to a different destination, maybe the movie theater, or really just locked into my phone, doom scrolling. And I'm like, man, I just really did not truly take the time to just sit back and appreciate nature. And that's what I really appreciated when I traveled to Germany, just sitting there and taking a step back, not rushing anything, and just appreciating the slow pace of life, just really indulging. Because I think what I realized is the busier I make myself, life was just passing me by so rapidly that at some point,
he has a great point. He has a great point. He's killing it. He's killing it.
Like, where did all the time go? Hey, you've heard of that saying before, right? And it happens to all of us. So I'm like, man, like it was just so entirely different for me. One interesting thing that I also appreciated was the fact that in this case, in Hamburg, Germany, I could walk everywhere. Now, Germany in general is very walkable. And when I was in Hamburg, oh my God, my favorite city in all of Deutschland, I walked everywhere and I really internalized where I was. I just finished eating at Hobsburg not too long ago. Actually, I'm at the Pjalphareacting. So this is actually kind of what it looks like. It looks a little bit more bougie than the other spots, and the water looks so still. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. Hamburg never ceases to amaze me, man. I'm gonna continue walking straight. I think straight and to the right is gonna be the Michel, and I heard that it's about €8 to either climb the tower or take the elevator straight to the top. I got some time to kill, so I might climb it. And in America, that's not as common. You get your car,
that's not common.
You drive anywhere and everywhere you can. That's just how it works. And in the cities, yes, it's better to take public transportation for the 3 big cities in the United States, but everywhere else, it's mainly car heavy. You need to have a car to navigate. But walking around did 2 things for me. A, I was losing weight quick as heck. And
I got losing weight, and this is what a lot of Americans don't understand when they travel. When they travel abroad, they don't understand that the reason you're losing weight, besides you don't have a lot of preservatives, is the walking. It's just the walking, guys.
To see things I wasn't normally paying attention to.
Okay, so we're actually in the St. Michael Church in Hamburg. I got a ticket. It's a combi ticket. So actually, if you look at the outside, there is the staircase to go down to the crypt. And then over here, there's a staircase to go up.
And this is my point exactly. Had I been driving around or whatever in a car, I would have completely missed this epic gem. The St. Michel was something that a lot of you guys told me to check out, and I finally got to climb up these stairs. Oh my God, guys, this was no joke. There were a lot of stairs to get to the top, but it was worth it. One thing that I definitely noticed with this tower in comparison to the other towers I had climbed in Deutschland was this had a lot of steel beams that fortified the structure. The other towers that I had climbed had more cement and wood, so I just felt safer climbing this, and I might have been just as safe in the other towers, but it was the aesthetic that did it for me.
Climbing these towers is like, just when you think you're close, there's like 100 more stairs, man. It's crazy. I think this is it for real this time.
You know, and not only that, you know what's crazy about this? You know what's crazy about this? This is how you keep our society nice and healthy. Just the amount of activity you can do throughout the day. Look at this. He probably burned just climbing the stairs, probably 500 calories. Easy. Easy. And then 200 more down, 700 calories. Those burgers already gone.
Cool. Holy moly. Yeah, this is tall as hell, man. Holy shit. Look at what I'm looking at right now.
Wow.
That's the bell. This right here is...
Whoa.
You see that? Oh, what? Oh, the bells are going off here. Oh my God, it's loud. That's actually the Elbphilharmonie. We were just staring at this building from over there. That's crazy. Dude, the way that the river looks from over here, or the sea, is insane. Look at this. Perks of being tall. Look at that. Oh, wow.
When you drive all the time and you're used to that, it's very easy to miss landmarks, your surroundings, and the things around you that are actually very beautiful. But when you walk, you can't avoid them. They're in front of you all the time. And it's not like I walk with my phone in my hand and I'm doom scrolling while I'm walking. I have to pay attention to where I'm at, right? So it really reinforced me paying attention to everything. And that's a habit that I'm gonna bring back to the United States in a way where it's done safely. Cause you can't just be walking any old place in America, bro.
That's true.
Everybody carrying heat, if you know what I mean. They be packing, so I gotta be careful, but I do wanna incorporate more walking in my day-to-day routines after doing that in Germany so often. And the fun thing was, I was so taken away by the environment I was in, I didn't realize how much I had been walking until it was the end of the day and my feet were hurting. I was getting 30,000 to 60,000 steps in because I just wouldn't stop walking.
Especially here at the St. Michel, because this was my final day in Hamburg, Germany. My final day in Germany in general, and I had to see all of the historical markings and memorabilia inside the tower. So many of you guys have told me about this, and I needed to see it for myself. But what was really interesting is seeing how this building was constructed and whatnot. I mean, it was built at one point and basically destroyed and rebuilt from what I saw, and it was remarkable, like what it started off as and what it turned into, right? When it was reconstructed, it turned into almost like a better version of what it originally looked like. Now, I do understand it's a controversial statement because people do love the original build of this building, but I love what it looks like now, honestly. But that wasn't the end of this trip. I literally went to the crypt of the St. Michel, and that in itself was an absolute experience.
I think these are literally like different pieces of the building, like this, for instance, which is really cool. Dude, this is amazing. It's kind of low. This is like the top of the ceiling, and this is where my head is. If you look over here, these are Ihre Spende für die Michelitiker. Yeah, I think it's pretty much donations. These are donations. It's pretty cool. The reason why these pillars are lit up the way they are is they have, I think, like lights and a little bit of candles in some of them as well. Wow. Take a look at this. We have a lot of older objects here from like a long time ago. This is from like 1900 stuff, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. Damn.
You can just see you can
Yeah, I'm
never
very amazed how strong Christianity is embedded in German culture. Is insane.
detail put into
A lot.
this piece right here. It looks like a crest almost. It might
Unbelievable.
honestly be a crest. And this looks like baby clothes.
My German friends that were with me were getting tired, bro. But this particular day that I was in Hamburg, Germany, it was just me by myself, truly just enjoying my surroundings and really taking everything in. Let me know if you've ever had a moment like that where you were able to just sit back, relax, and truly just enjoy yourself. I know my European audience probably can relate more to this. Even my American audience, were there times when you traveled, you were able to just like sit back and go like, wow, I don't have to be in a rush for anything. I can just sit back and unwind. Another thing I noticed when traveling to Germany was the impact on cultural intelligence that it had on me. I was like, whoa, I mean, that was huge, especially considering that prior to traveling to Germany and anywhere else for that matter, my cultural intelligence was minimal. I thought I knew everything about everything because I'm like,
Cultural intelligence, huh? What does that mean when he says that? Cultural intelligence.
okay, I grew up in Chicago. It's an international hub. You have all kinds of cultures traveling from far and wide to try to visit the city and stuff like that. So I was used to seeing people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and cultures, or so I thought. People visiting, right, is just a micro glimpse of what they actually have in their country. So going to other countries really got me to see and expose me to different types of ways of life and thinking and whatnot. And I think that really enhanced my perception of cultural intelligence. It enhanced it a lot. And I'm pretty sure you guys that have been watching me for a while have gotten to witness the evolution of myself through my videos over the last few years after I finally got off my ass and hopped on a plane and made vlogs in Germany. Let's be honest, travel makes you less ignorant and way more interesting. You learn to read different social cues around cultures, appreciate nuance, and avoid saying dumb stuff like, wait, what do you mean the entire country shuts down in August? Something that took me back, and I touched on this already, was America is very different in that businesses are open 24/7. And I took my defaultism with me because I'm like, if businesses are open 24/7 in America, they gotta be open 24/7 in the entire world. That was not the case when I traveled to Germany. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Why aren't these places open at all hours of the night? Because for those that don't know, outside of YouTube, my primary job, I work the graveyard shift. That's 11 p.m. at night to 7 a.m. in the morning. And on my off time, I'm awake during those hours. So I'm like, okay, like it would be optimal for me to shop while everybody else is sleeping. There's not that many people out, whatever, but people gotta sleep. People with normal schedules, everybody gotta sleep. That's a thing. But I thought to myself, a 24/7 open store is very considerate for people who work every type of working schedule, but it's not entirely considerate to the employees. Another thing people like to talk about too, in this case, this is just in Germany, because I do know other Europeans from other countries that have traveled to Germany have also, noted this very same thing, which is the staring, quote unquote, problem in Germany, where people stare at you a lot. For me, I actually wound up picking up on the habit myself. I stare at people a lot now. I used to be a little.
Do you know what's crazy? What if we all stare? What if everybody stare? You're not telling me you see somebody that's kind of, oh, this person's probably is not from around. You would not stare at them? Of course you would. Of course you would. Everybody stare. I don't think this is. I don't know, man.
Afraid to stare at people because Chicago, that'll get you shot and killed. I realized, oh, okay, like it is okay to be observant and to stare, but not in a way that feels like you're invading someone's space and making them feel uncomfortable. People watching's cool, but you gotta do it with some taste. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, hit them with one of these, like.
Yeah, just 2 seconds and that's it.
Their soul. I was raised though.
You take a glimpse and that's it.
Under the principle that staring was disrespectful. It was a form of judgment that made people feel uncomfortable. And in a lot of cultures, that is a thing. But in Germany, it didn't seem like that at all. People actually were locking in however they could. You know what I'm saying? They were at all. People actually were locking in however they could. You know what I'm saying? They were They were hitting you with one of these, and I'm like, oh my god! It was uncomfortable at first because I had heard
It's funny,
about
man.
obviously
Such a
the
funny guy,
stare,
man.
and I finally traveled out there, and it happened. But because I was aware that this was a normalcy out there, I'm like, you know what? This ain't a problem. But I also
ain't it,
noticed
yeah,
when
it
I
ain't
traveled to the Netherlands and Belgium, that was definitely not an issue. No one was staring like that. No one was doing all that. You know what I'm saying? But it was fun. It was interesting. Again, there are some traits that I can't really take the staring back to America because that will get me killed or hurt real bad because people
Especially if you live in one of these big cities. Yeah, oh, what happened here? I'm sorry. Yeah, especially in the big city, you cannot do the staring thing, man. You can't. You simply can't. You're gonna get, you're gonna be in trouble. He's at a point. You have to just get a glimpse, and that's it. Move out of the way.
not mess around when it comes to, staring. I beat that point into the ground like a dead horse, but just to cover it real quickly. And you guys let me know in the comments down below if it's the same in your countries, if you're from Europe. Staring kind of insinuates that either A, someone is possibly looking to get something from you, or people feel like maybe they might get robbed, they might get harmed, or they just generally feel uncomfortable. So staring really isn't
What
like
about
something
curiosity?
that is totally
This person is not from around here. That curiosity.
encouraged if you don't have to do it, especially if you right in front of the person, bro. That's crazy. Now if you're talking to somebody, yes, you need to be staring at them when you talk to them, but if you don't know them and you're like on public transportation or you're like doing something totally different, just laser beaming somebody down, it's grounds for getting hurt. But I could be crazy. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree. It's just something I observed and I'm like, ooh, I can see how this would be a cultural conflict if you brought this to the wrong location. One of the biggest things I appreciated that added to my cultural intelligence through all this was me realizing how people took a step back and they actually allowed themselves to relax. They relaxed, they enjoyed themselves, spent time with friends and family, which is something I don't normally do.
Because it's looked at as lazy, but the reality is it's not. It's just you hitting a mental reset, recharging your batteries, and genuinely enjoying the environment around you. America has a
Good point. That is a good point. If here in the United States, we should focus more on that. Yeah, I agree with that.
culture, and I didn't realize that I was encapsulated in that until I traveled.
And finally, the biggest reason why I think leaving America for Germany was one of the best decisions I ever made was, again, I mentioned this earlier, but let's really hit this hard because this is like a separate point. It was the ultimate mental reset. Let me explain what I'm talking about. When you break your routine, even for a week, it completely resets your brain. I don't know why or how, but it just totally resets your brain. You get out of your routine, you do something different, far more relaxing, you're exploring different things and trying new foods and meeting new people. It's the ultimate reset. And then you go back to your routine and realize, oh, I could change a few things. You stop doom scrolling, you breathe actual air, and finally realize what it's like to exist instead of just work. All of the fear mongering and what if isms were put to rest almost immediately when I traveled. I got to see firsthand what people who refuse to travel theorize about in real time. They're like, oh, I don't travel to Europe because I heard this. And I'm like,
That's crazy. That I never heard about this before. About I don't want to go to Europe because it's dangerous. That made no sense, man. That made no sense. I'll think about South America, Central America, that South Asia, maybe Middle East. Throwing that out there, probably Africa. I will understand, but Europe, I'm not gonna go to Europe because it's dangerous. Kind of interesting. I don't know. Well, there you go. That video. Hey, James killing it. James just killed it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I think he has a great points. Great points. He traveled a lot. He was living out, I think, in South Korea. I don't know if he's living in Hamburg, but well, hopefully he's just, if he really likes Germany, man. It seems like that's the place for him. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next one.